Guys, how are you doing? This is your boy Brian coming back to you with these brand new videos. It's always a pleasure to be able to make these videos for you guys. I hope you guys, your families and friends are doing great. So yes, as you know, we in my channel we talk about movies, we talk about MMA, the UFC, and we also talk about football. So over the past few weeks, we spoke about football a lot because the World Cup is playing, right? And we had to speak about it. And my favorite athlete in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo, was playing it. Unfortunately, he's out of the competition since the quarterfinal. They were taken out by Morocco. And but that's not so today's topic. So today we go back to movies. We talk about movies. Today we'll talk about the DC universe and of course the Warner Bros. Discovery. And some of the news that we got of the past few weeks and of the past few days. Let's start with talking about the news that we got over the past few weeks. First news we got was like the first big news, of course, was that James Gunn and Peter Safran were going to be running the DC studios, right? So they were going to be co-CEOs. They were going to run the studio. They were going to oversee the plan for the next 10 years. For the DC universe that was going to be interconnected. We were going to be to have an interconnection between all those projects, right? Whether it's movies, series, TV shows, and video games, etc. So the James Gunn was going to be on the creative side of the CEO. His job is going to be more on the creative side, and Safran was going to be more on the business side, as he's a producer. He knows that thing. And so we, learning that news, we knew that we were going to get some other news, right? As in where they were going to take the universe, what they're going to take the DC universe, and what was in store for the DCU, the Snyderverse that we've come to love or like, or hate for those who don't like the Snyderverse. Me personally, I like the Snyderverse. Not all of it. I will let you know that Man of Steel is one of my very favorite comic book movie ever. It's not perfect, but I really love it. I think it's it's a masterpiece, right? It's a very good movie. So we knew that we were going to get some news regarding the direction that these two genius are going to take the DC moving forward. And over the past few days, we learned some things, right? Some things that James Gunn has come to, since let us know that some of them were true, some of them were right, and some of them were half true, and some of them were, not yet decided on. So that was the statement that he made on the news that I'm going to talk about here. So the first news that we learned was that the DCEU, Snyderverse that we know, was not going to be existing as we know it anymore. First, that Aquaman: The Last Kingdom was going to be the last project in which we see Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Moving forward, James Gunn likes him as Lobo. That was the news. We also got the news that Wonder Woman 3 was cancelled, and that Patty Jenkins left the project upon some disagreement with the studio. They wanted her to make some changes, etc. These are the news that we got. And so ever since we got those news, James Gunn came and did not really deny it, but he made a statement that was saying that some were true, some were not true, some were half true, etc. So we don't know what exactly was true, what exactly was not true. Those are some of the news that we got. And of course, yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday or the day before yesterday, we got a statement from Patty Jenkins herself, who came out to say, no, I did not quit the job. I was willing to, work with the studios to see where we could take the story. I was willing to make some changes to, adapt the story, but the direction that Peter Safran and James Gunn are going on is not just, does not include Wonder Woman 3. So we parted ways amicably. I understand that they have a universe to build, and so that was her statement. She also added that the Star Wars project in which she was involved, in which we thought she was no longer involved, is still a possibility. She's still working on it, and she's still developing it. So that is what she said in her statement, which I think was very important statement. I saw yesterday on the John Campia show that some people like, for example, sorry sir, Robert Mario Bennett was saying that she didn't have to, she didn't have the right to come out and speak the way she did, the studio, etc. But I'm always in the side of the person having the freedom to talk about something when it involves her. It involves her. When it's going, it's something that can hurt her, right? So it's about her personality, that she was going to be portrayed as someone who's difficult to work with, someone who's very problematic. And she had to come out and make that statement to make it clear that no, I did not leave the project. I was willing to make the changes, and this is what happened. And by the way, that Star Wars project that people thought that I was fired from or I left, I'm still working on it. It was just a matter of scheduling. It could, at that time it was not working with the Wonder Woman 3 production, so I had to pull myself away from it. But Disney was very lovable and they wanted me to stay, so they asked me to go on. They told me that I could go on production with Wonder Woman 3 and then come back and work on Star Wars, the Star Wars project. So she made that statement, and that I think was right by her. It was all right to make that statement, to just make it clear, because the way it was portrayed in the articles, in the news, I was also feeling that Patty Jenkins has become very hard to work with. Why is that, right? And her making that statement makes me come back to what I was like feeling was the truth, to understand that no, this is not what happened, and it was very important. It's the she did the right thing there. I think the women in the John Campia show were right. Chris was right, and that she needed to express herself and let people know what's what. Next thing is the statement by Henry Cavill that came out. It didn't really come out as a surprise for me when he came out and says, he posted in Instagram saying that, hey guys, unfortunately this is not going to happen anymore. This is the last. I'm not Superman anymore. Or I just came out of a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. The direction they're taking does not include me as a Superman, but as we discussed, we hope to work together in the future. I'm hurt, but let's see. Superman is more than a person. Superman, the idea of Superman will continue. So that was also a very good statement by Henry Cavill, who is always a gentleman. We know that, So that was a very I expected it, but it hurts nonetheless, right? Because Superman, the Man of Steel movie, is one of my favorite movies. Henry Cavill is my Superman by definition. When I look at him, the way he portrayed the role, that is the kind of Superman I love, right? Now, I don't know if they are going to, whichever Superman movie or whichever actor portrays the Superman I'm going to like, as I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. So I'm not sure about that, but it happens. It's life, and you need to move on. And I feel like it's speaking of the decisions that James Gunn and Peter Safran are making, I feel these are right decisions. Now I'll let you know why. People like that love the Snyderverse. People love what Snyder was able to build. Need to understand also that trying to continue on that path was only going to hurt whatever James Gunn and Peter Safran were going to build. Now, I feel like with the controversy with Ezra Miller, with all the the critic failure of Wonder Woman 2, with all the struggle that Black Adam has had in the box office, is having in the box office. All these things was just a signal that, hey guys, we need to we need to cut it short. We need to separate ourselves from this universe, and it's a good thing now. It's a good thing too for them to say, okay, this we're going to try to make it work, but at this point it's not going to work. I mean, you are going to have to recast Ezra Miller and continue with the same universe. You are going to be making a Wonder Woman 3, knowing that the last one was not liked by the critic or by the fans. I watched that movie once, and I haven't watched it ever since. I think it's one of the worst movie of the DC universe. I know that the bar is not high, but it's one of the, like, imagine the bar is not high, and it's one of the worst. So I've only watched it once, and you have Black Adam coming. It's panned by the critics, and people really love movies, like, who really look into, like, love the story, the storytelling part of the movie, who appreciates good performances. Like me, for example, I did not like Black Adam. I didn't see, like, a movie that has something to offer, like, beside the actions. I mean, even those actions were not carrying any weight for me, because they were just actions without context. So at this point, I think it's the right thing to move away from the Snyderverse and build something new. Although I think we might get a surprise here. We might get a surprise in which, like, people out there thinking that Henry Cavill is definitely done as Superman will be surprised, because I'm going to predict now that James Gunn has a plan to bring Henry Cavill back, but not now. Very later on, as Superman of how the what's the storyline again? I'm forgetting. He's going to bring him back as Superman, but and it's going to be a very, very big thing. Now he has a project of the Kingdom Come. We are going to see Henry Cavill as Superman in the with the Kingdom Come storyline. It's going to bring him back in that. I feel like this is happening, but just not now. So we'll have to wait to see it happen, right? Because how old is Henry Cavill? 39 now, 39, 40, and so we give it a few more years. It comes back, and some white hair, like the king, will get the Kingdom Come Superman. Don't forget that James Gunn posted a Kingdom Come picture on his Instagram, and I think that was him telling without really telling, right? So we'll be seeing Henry Cavill back as Superman. I believe the Kingdom Come Superman. Now, I'm intrigued with the news that we got that he is writing a script, a first draft for a Superman movie, and that was going to be a very young Clark Kent. We just started in the Daily Planet and etc. So it's not going to be an origin story, but it's going to be a young Clark Kent starting a young Superman Clark Kent / Clark Kent starting in the Daily Planet, etc. And that's also a very interesting thing. So what are we going to get? What is coming from the DC EU? We'll have to wait. I think James Gunn had a meeting, and Peter Safran had a meeting with the boss after one of Discovery this week, and we'll be getting some news moving forward. But I feel like everything, we are going to get a big bang theory, a big bang in the Flash, and that is going to reset everything. Everything, the recasting, everything is going to change. We are going to forget about the Snyderverse. Of course, I'm not going to forget about the movie that I like from the Snyderverse, Man of Steel. I also enjoyed Batman v Superman. I think that movie could have been better. I did not kill the Henry Cavill Superman in the end. I did not made Lex Luthor so jokey in the end, because I believe in the beginning Lex Luthor is, quite an okay villain, but in the end when he is like playing some sort of a joker, like that's the part that I'm not really okay with. I also feel like the Doomsday fight could have been less sorry, CGI. All those fireworks around the explosions, that was too much for me. Even though I like explosions, right? I think Man of Steel has the best comic book fight, superhuman fights in any comic book movie. Uh, I think the Batman the Superman, the Batman's fight scene in the warehouse is one of the best in the comic book movie stories. So I really enjoyed a lot, and I'm a very big fan of Snyder, as I love Watchmen, etc. But I think it's time to move on from the Snyderverse, and start looking into the future and what could be, instead of always complaining and bring back this, bring back that, and it's not really working. Let's move on, and hopefully whatever they're going to build next works out, and we all able to love it. I hope it's not a copycat of what Marvel is doing with the jokes in the movies. I don't like movies that are joke. I like movies that talk about some things that makes you think. Those are the kind of movies that I like, which is why I love Men of Steel so much, because it's just that there's so much Men of Steel makes you think about, makes you reflect on, and I love that movie. So yeah, I hope we get that kind of movie instead of the jokey stuff. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to offend any Marvel fans. That yeah, there are some there are Marvel movies that I love. Like for example, the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger. I love that movie dearly. I love the Winter Soldier dearly. The only one problem I have with that movie is the Nick Fury coming back to life, being shot, and we saw the bullet, going through him, and then he survives that. That is the only thing that I don't like about the Winter Soldiers. But beside that, I love that movie. So, and yeah, DC Universe. Let's see what James Gunn is bringing. Is the guy is smart, he's a genius, but yeah. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video. Thank you.